in. Seemed to be pretty injury-free. This is all things on both sides liked as far as made plays in running game, passing game. They made some some of the young guys that's on the secondary make some balls, bat some balls, go up and make some plays. Were very good. Both sides probably won a situation, the other one won a situation, have their moments of going back and forth, pretty competitive in the series. I'm trying to think anything that's really stood out. Nothing extraordinary both ways, but much more, I thought, consistent football this time. I mean, not as many, some of the plays that each side made wasn't from busts on the other side. It was made from making a good play, covering a guy or getting open on a guy, making a catch, beating a guy on a block, not where he's just running scot-free inside or something like that. And for the most part, quarterbacks handled the blitz pretty well. I was very pleased with the way they saw pressure, got the ball out, saw things, and from that standpoint, I look at the film to make sure, but it was on the sideline the whole time. But in the exchange of the game was pretty good as far as getting the plays in and out, and that action, the interaction first half. So very pleased with that part of it too.
Was Rashad able to go?
No, he won't go. I'll probably hold him till Saturday or Monday. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Before we let things heal, get down, and we got a full time to.
Right.
And he had a great camp anyway. So.
With just a hand, can he still run the routes and just not? You just don't want him to
You
catch it.
could. We just don't want it to end up seeing the bump it, bang
Right.
it, let the swelling go out of it, and get it taken care of. And in our camp, we've had a very strenuous camp. We're fixing to. And tomorrow we'll watch film and won't practice or anything. And Friday probably more installation of the game plan, helmets and just helmets. And then Saturday we'll have a little practice and have some more into the game plan. We've done it pretty good in camp.
What was going on with Jacob Farrencroft? I saw he had his arm in his leg.
He had banged his shoulder. He'll be back. Should be back by the beginning of the week. Just banged his shoulder up. Mitchell's back was balling a little bit. That time, the big guy's been getting pounded on for about 16, 18 practices. Joint, he'll be back. Shouldn't be anything. He should be back in the flow.
Coach, I assume all the running backs and no contacts were precautionary. What about
No,
Carlos?
they got thudded. They got hit. We just weren't going to the ground with them. You know what I mean? That way, then off the left, they got thumped now.
What about Carlos?
Full speed. Huh?
What about Carlos?
Carlos had his shoulder was been banged up a little bit, and he's hitting. So he come up, made a little thud. So he wasn't. We didn't. No sense to do that. He made his plays. That's got a nice pick today. Had a nice interception of the day. Made a real good play.
You got to ask, were you able to glean anything as far as the quarterback?
Oh, I'll wait till the film, but I was pleased with. Actually, I thought McGuire played well when he got in the game. He did the things he got in. He played well too. But I was pleased with Jameis and Jacob today, from an out, just standing from the sideline standpoint. I'm sure there's some things I'll see when I look at the film, but I thought both guys handled the huddle well, made plays, got the ball down the field vertically, and dumped it off. You know what I mean? And did some things there, handled blitz. I was very pleased with how they played in the scrimmage. I mean, now we'll look and we'll make a decision, but I mean, I know one thing: we got two very good quarterbacks.
Do you want to make a decision before next week?
We probably. I won't put a timetable, but it could happen. I'll wait and look at the film, and we'll talk with staff again. We've talked, and we talk. But every 2 days as a staff, kind of reevaluate things, what everybody's opinion is, and what they're seeing, and we'll have a staff discussion and go through it.
You haven't really had one of these really since I guess Devontre and Ponder and Weatherford back in 2008. How did you handle it then? I don't.
Same things, very honest and open as a staff.
But like maybe 10 or 12 days out is when you kind of made that decision. Do you remember?
I'll be honest with you, I couldn't tell you. You can probably look it up in your article.
Yeah,
quicker
no,
than
I
I could
could,
look it
yeah.
up. You or Gene, one of y'all could do it. It was here. It was reported. I don't know if anybody else was reporting here then. All newbies.
The vets.
Golden oldies.
Coach, what about red shirts? Do you have any idea of some of the younger guys that are going to get those red shirts yet?
That. And how injuries will have a lot to do with that. But
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what, there's a lot of young guys in this group that'll play.
Well, Jonathan Franklin wasn't just out today.
No, he had a back and a rib that's bothering him a little bit from torquing. He got tightened up like a spasm. So letting him throw, we held him out today.
I take it the two guys have played well, so it's making your decision tough. What are you going to do there?
No, it's not as tough when they do that, in my opinion, because in the end, no matter what you say, you got to have two guys ready to play. You know what I'm saying? And you feel very good about it. And I think both guys are they've shown that they can go in and play them, been with the ones, been with the twos, you know. And what I like to see is do they move both groups? And the twos a lot of times are going against the ones on defense, and vice versa. So I mean, you know, and then they're ones on ones, twos on twos. So I just like to see it, and both of them have done a nice job moving. So it's a tough decision, maybe as far as that goes, but it's a great decision because you always got to have two quarterbacks. And you got two very good guys.
And you said you meet with the staff. I assume you obviously sit down with both kids too before
Oh,
you
no.
announce anything.
Oh no, they'll know everything.
Yeah.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, that would never happen. I'm just saying not with the staff. I'm talking about asking their opinions.
Oh, okay.
And then as we discussed, it's like we do every player. You know what I mean?
With your game planning, I guess in a perfect world, you'd like to have it done by next week, because it seems you want to get more reps in what you're game planning for Pitt to the first stringer.
You will. I mean, I mean, the first guy will get more. There's no doubt. But the way we practice, we give them a little more, but not tons. We still keep two guys, try to keep them pretty ready the way we practice. But it is a little difference, though. Probably a 60-40 difference.
Coach, what about figuring out who's going to be up in the box, who's going to be down the field, the staff? Have you guys figured any of that out
We'll
yet?
try to run on some things on Saturday. Now we do some things. That's what I was wondering, which we got the first half of the scrimmage out here, first part of it, and then we drifted away from it a little bit. You know, 'cause we had to go in there, but once we got everything set up in there, we tried it in there, but wish we could have stayed out here. I mean, it's been, both days have been ridiculous. I mean, both times we had 2.5 hour waits. That's not good for your kids. That's where you get a lot of injuries. You have injuries. But it is part of sometimes now these rain delays and then bad to practice. Next one we have, we'll probably wait and delay in the practice because I want to get used to it like you do in the game.
So I was asked with the defense from the first scrimmage to this one, have you seen, because they're installing a lot of different things, and do you see any progress?
They installed a lot since we got the first scrimmage. We kind of repeat. We got in what we're going to have in. Hard to tell till I look at the film. You know what I mean? Hard to tell till I look at the film from the sideline. You know what I'm saying? I'll study it when I look at the film.
I know it obviously doesn't affect your decision at all, but can it be a little bit problematic, the amount of attention that Jameis has gotten from the fan base when, for
Not
those
for me.
guys, I mean, well, no, not for you, but I mean for those guys, whoever's got to start on game one, either it's a lot of hype for Jameis or Jacob's playing in a little
Could
bit
be. I
shadow.
mean, in that regard, but we'll try to keep them grounded and we try to talk them through that situation. They've been fighting through it now a little bit, but I mean, I see where you're coming from though. It could be if we allow it to be. We could be if we allow it to be.
How about in the secondary? I know you mentioned the other day about Ronald coming back and looking really good, but you've got a whole mess of talent back there in the secondary. Do you guys have a good idea of how that's shaking out and who's going to
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of them playing different positions, and that's a good thing. You got some depth. You got some depth.
Thanks, Coach.
That was easy.